Welcome to today's episode of Musical Instruments with Mr. Pages. Unfortunately, I am not a string player by any means, so I have asked my VPA students, VPA stands for Visual Performing Arts program, which is housed at Y High first period during the day. So I have Alexander Baer here. He goes by Xander. He is from Mardella High School, well, middle and high school, like the other high school that nobody really cares about in the county. So we have Xander. He's going to be demonstrating the cello for us. And then we have Gracie Ellswick, aka G Wick. She's going to be showing us the violin, and she is from Parkside, and right, Parkside?
Yeah.
The inner city schools, the ones that people actually care about in the county. So boom. Since today was supposed to be Xander's actual lesson, we're going to start with him on the cello. So you probably at this point have seen, or you will be seeing, my double bass video that I did. But now here is the next highest instrument in the orchestra, the cello. So take it away, Alex. Xander Baer.
Okay, so this is the cello. Kind of hard to show it. Whoops. It's just kind of like the bass, you know, same kind of body looking, but just a lot smaller. Has the same hollow body, same, you know, roll up here, fingerboard. I can't do this. Bridge and whatever. Yep. Unlike the double bass, this is tuned in fifths, starting from the low C all the way to the high A. And what else do you want me to say?
Boom. So the cello is like the double bass, but it's just a little smaller, so it is still a low-sounding instrument in the orchestra. Notice how Xander is sitting down to play this instrument. The other instruments you can play standing or sitting. So the double bass you have to stand. For the cello you have to sit. But then, as Gracie will show us, she is standing right now with the violin, or she can sit either or, and the viola, which is very similar to the violin, which I won't demonstrate, or we won't demonstrate for you. It's the same thing. So the cello, Xander is sitting down. Do you have like a foot peg on the floor right now?
I do. It's a long.
Yeah. So
peg.
yeah. So he has his peg there, and some cellists either stab it into the ground so it stays where it is and doesn't slip around, or they have this little circular object that they put on the ground. There's my dog again. She is featured in the trombone video. Anyway, so that's the cello. Do you want to play an excerpt for us? If you remember from the double bass, there is a screw mechanism, so you can actually tighten it, and then if you let go, it's fine. If you were to do that on one of these instruments and just turn it one way, it would be like boop and pop out, and it would unwind all the strings. So what they have to do, can you demonstrate loosening a string? If you need to
There you go. You turn it.
Yeah.
And then you have to push in and twist it back to tighten it.
All right, so that is the cello. And you've been playing for how long? Since what grade?
I've been playing since 6th grade, so 6 years now.
6 years on the cello. Boom. All right, Gracie, your turn.
Okay, so this is the violin. They're very beautiful instruments. They range from little tiny violins to full-size violins. This is a full-size one, but they are as small as 1/16 sizes, so anybody can play the violin. And I don't know what to say. Okay, this right here is a chin rest. Unlike the cello and the bass, the violin and the viola actually have a chin rest because you hold it up like this. And you may be wondering, how does this stay? Well, I have a shoulder rest on the back of mine, and they make them in a bunch of different sizes because everybody's different. So mine just happens to be the one that I like. It works best for me. It is removable, but you can take it off. It's super easy. And then when you put it back on, it's also super easy to put on, and then it just stores in your case. So right here, there's a little clip that holds on. Here is the end piece. And then right here is the tail piece, and that's where the fine tuners are connected to. You can get a different tailpiece that only has one fine tuner. This one used to have only one fine tuner, and then I got a new one put on. This is the bridge. It's very similar to the other instruments. The violin is also tuned in fifths, just like the viola and the cello. And here are the pegs you can also tune with as well. This is the scroll. They all have the scroll. And then the back is just made out of one solid piece.
Mhm. Awesome. Yeah, so the cello and the viola are tuned the same way, meaning the four strings that they have are C, G, D, and A. However, the violin has, starting on the low G string, D, A, and then a high E string. So little fun fact, the highest string in the string family is an E string on the violin, and then the lowest string in the string family is the low E string of the double bass. So that's like, for me, that's an interesting fact. Boom. So can you pluck those, or so
Yeah.
pizzicato and then bow them?
Yeah, so this is what they sound like pizzicato. And this is what they sound like bowed. And what's also really interesting is that the E string, it's the highest string. It's really thin. You can barely see it. It's the only string that's not wound. So all the other ones are, when they make them, they take another string and they wrap them around to make them wound. The E string is the only one that's not.
Single. There was a dude, he would file down his strings before a performance so that they would purposely break. And he's like, so he would break them during the performance, and he's like, oh no, my string broke, but guess what? I can still play. But he purposely did it to make himself look better. I forget his name, but yeah. Anyway, so violin excerpt. What are you playing for us, Gracie? Oh, Gracie, last thing. So you started playing when? Like what grade?
I was 8 years old in third grade.
So 8 years old, and you're how old now?
17. So
So
almost 10 years, 9 years. So.
almost 10 years. And if you started in fourth grade and you decided to quit, boom, you could have been like Gracie playing. So awesome. And if you're like Xander, you could have started in fourth grade as well, but changed the cello and played. Excuse me. So those are the two string instruments. Thank you guys for coming on this episode of Musical Instruments with Mr. Pages. Until next time.